Hi everyone, this is Mrs. Scowden. I wanted to check in on all of you and say hello and also give you some video instructions on the upcoming assignments for April. So I am going to be linking all of the information I'm going over in this video on your agenda. It will be available each day and you can refer to it as you need to. But so I know that sometimes it's easier to get instructions verbally from a teacher rather than just in writing. So let's talk about this and I'll go over some of the most important pieces of this assignment. And if you have questions, I will tell you how to contact me and ask those. So you will have some history work that you're still going to be doing on World War II and beyond, and that will be linked up by Mr. Crane to our agenda as well. But for your English credit, we're going to be trying a new activity called a living journal. So, a living history journal, I should say. So, right now, the world is going through a lot of things that it never has experienced before, at least not in our lifetimes. And we certainly have never been under a quarantine before or had to stay 6 feet apart from other people when we go to the grocery store. So there are a lot of adjustments on a day-to-day basis that we are going through, and you may not realize it, but this is a moment in history that you have the opportunity to document firsthand. So what we are going to be doing is having you guys keep a journal of your experiences and how you're spending this time and what you're going to be doing during this time, being at home in quarantine, and you're going to actually be able to get some credit for that. So let's look at how this will work first. The expectation is that you're going to be writing for only 20 minutes and you'll write a little bit each day, not including weekends or on days we have off. It's really important that you take that time to focus on your writing for 20 minutes and don't feel like you need to spend hours. Also, please try not to throw things together in 5 minutes because what you have to say is important and you need to develop that carefully. You can type up your journal entries in an Echo assignment if you want directly. I recommend you type it in a Google Doc and you copy and paste that over into your Echo assignment when you're done. Of course, if you don't have computer access, you're likely not watching this video, but I want to make sure that you know that if you don't have computer access for some reason, you can always do this on paper and turn it into the school later. When you're formatting your entries, make sure that you include the date, which is right here, the date at the top of your entry. Each entry should include multiple days of writing. So that means you will have an entry due on Wednesdays and Fridays. That means you need to have writing from Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday by your first entry. And you need to have writing on Thursday and Friday for your second entry. So you can space that out however you want to. You can write less on one day and more on another if you'd like, but you do need to show that you've written for each of those days before you submit it. Okay? You do not have to submit an entry every single day. You are only going to submit them twice a week on Wednesday and Friday. Each of your journal entries should be 3 to 5 fully developed paragraphs, and you are certainly allowed to write more. If you want to write pages, that is fine, whatever you want to do. But that's approximately 400 to 500 words. And I do have an example that I'll show you in a little bit to give you an idea of what that looks like. You may find that you like certain prompts better than other ones. And if you want to do a prompt more than once for more than one entry, you are certainly allowed to, but you should try to at least do 4 different prompts. So that means you can only repeat a prompt once. And I've given you a lot of different ideas to write about. If you have a separate idea that you would like to write about instead of something that's on that list, feel free to let me know. Email me, send me a message on Remind or a text through Google Voice, and I'll approve that for you. And you can go ahead and write whatever makes sense and is fitting for what you're doing that day. Okay, so where do you submit your assignments? Just like always, you submit on Echo. You submit on the date that it's due. And if for some reason you have a lot going on in your other classes and you're feeling overwhelmed and can't meet those deadlines, then just let me know and we can talk about extending that for you. We certainly don't want you to have to worry about this to the point where you're staying up all night or you're not doing well in your other classes. So just communicate with us and let us know. There are some opportunities for some bonus points. I've explained that here, so I'll let you check that out on your own. Let's look at how it will be graded. So each entry is worth 30 points. And that's separated into two categories, agency and written communication. And here I've explained what I'm looking for in each one of those when I'm grading it. So for agency, that's really just did you turn it in and was it on time? When I say on time, again, we're much more flexible since we're all at home and there are a lot of different things going on that we can't control. So on time means within that given week. So if it's a day late, that's okay, as long as you're doing the best work you can. For written communication, that will be 25 points of that 30. So that's the big chunk of your grade for your journal entries. And I've explained here how that will be graded. So basically, did you write it well professionally? Did you edit it? Does it show that you're putting time and effort into it like is required for the assignment? So it's really a pretty easy 30 points as long as you're dedicated that time. Here's some information about how you can access some help from me specifically if you want to talk to me. You all have my email. You've used that a lot, and I'm glad that you guys are emailing me. Keep sending emails, keep asking questions. You were never a bother. You are also welcome to have a phone call conversation or text me through my Google Voice number. This is the Google Voice number. Google Voice just allows me to communicate with you without having personal numbers given out or anything like that. So you can feel like you can text that anytime or give me a call anytime. My office hours are 8:50 to 3:20, so regular school hours. But if you have a question before that or after that, feel free to send me a message, and if I'm available, I will certainly respond. And as always, Remind works too. So I'm going to let you guys look at these prompts on your own a lot. I just want to skim through. If you don't really know what you want to journal about, we've given you a lot of ideas. So talk to your family, interview a family member. There's an explanation for ideas for that and how that works here. Documenting your personal experience. This prompt is the one that is kind of like if you just want to keep a journal like normally and talk about what you're doing, how you're spending your time, what you're thinking, how you're feeling, that's the prompt that you would use in your journal. And that's the one I use for my examples as well. We also have a section here for trying a new hobby or activity. These things that are in blue and underlined are active links, so you can click on them and go to those and check those out if you want to try that out. As a side note, this app right here, just want to let you know it has a free trial for 7 days, so please do not sign up for that and forget to cancel if you don't want to pay the yearly charge. There's also some opportunities for you to get active, try out a new workout or something and journal about how that went, or even just do some self-care, take up some meditation or do a nature walk by yourself, start a bullet journal. If you don't know what that is, we've linked it here as well. If you want to dig a little bit deeper and kind of investigate some things, do some research, that is for the next couple of prompts here, investigating claims that people are making, that professionals are making about the coronavirus. And this doesn't have to be claims that are made on the day that you're writing your journal. You could do some research at the beginning of how the virus emerged, how it came into the United States or started affecting Ohio, whatever makes sense to you. There's some information down here about some essential questions, so some big idea questions about this whole pandemic and how people are dealing with that. And then writing about books, movies, shows, and games. The only thing that you need to keep in mind is that obviously it should be something that is appropriate. So you probably should not be watching a rated R film if it's not approved by a parent or if it's really inappropriate and writing about that. But if you want to read a book or watch a documentary or a movie, something like For example, I recently watched Onward on Disney Plus and it was really good. I highly recommend it. If you want to just read and give a review and talk about what you thought about it, that's totally fine. This is a documentation of what you are doing during this quarantine time. So anything is worth writing about. And then, of course, you can just write. This is a link to get free access to New York Times articles. And if you look up here, those links that are in here are all coming from places like that. But if you go through this link, you can get free access to all of those and not be charged. Okay, almost done. This is an example of a completed journal entry. So this is an example of what I would submit for one entry in a week. So I have the journal entry title up here. I put my prompt here, the date that I was writing, and then here's my writing. Here's a picture that goes with what I was writing about. And then I also wrote on a separate day. So this is the second day I was writing, and my ideas again are in writing and they have some pictures. Now I like pictures. I think that they make things more interesting and help to kind of tell your story, but you don't have to have them. You're not going to get a grade deduction if you don't. At the bottom, here is a calendar of your due dates. Please note that you're probably going to get this information between Monday and Wednesday. So if your first journal is not submitted on Wednesday, that's okay. You can take Thursday and Friday to do that if you need to. But everything's written in here. I will grade your journals and give you feedback on Mondays and Tuesdays. So please do make sure you read those. And then the last part of this packet is just if you are doing it on paper for you to print out your entries. That should be everything. I know that's a lot of information. If you stuck it out for this full time, great job. Let me know if you have any questions or need any help. Please remember that no question is a stupid one. So just let me know and stay safe out there. Use hand sanitizer and wash your hands and stay away from people.